Hello, Knights of the World Table, and thank you for listening. We continue our adventure in this episode of our team delving deeper and deeper into Mount Cambion in search of their friend Gravely. They've recently been yanked into a giant, dark, creepy lake by a froghemoth, which they defeated and got back to shore from, and that's where we will pick it up. But before that, here in the United States, we just had an election, and here's what I will leave you with regarding that. Humans do better when we choose love over hate. When times are tough, humans tend to want to isolate, but we do better and heal in community. We're meant to be together as humans. We're meant to support the people around us and look out for each other, our family, our neighbors, our friends, our community. And so it is never a coincidence when I say every episode, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and make life an adventure. You're wet. You're a little freaked out. You have a long way to go along this lake.
That wasn't fun.
Yes, is everyone all right? Is anyone damaged or need some drying off? Does anyone have one of those gust of wind spells or a little towel, like a tea towel?
Oh, I have a towel.
Is it clean?
You didn't say a clean towel.
Does anyone have a clean towel?
Well,
Branch has one, but Branch is a lizard right now.
Everything that was on my person is rather soaked.
There's really not much of a breeze down here. You're going to be trudging along in wet socks and such for a while, probably.
Does nobody have prestidigitation?
I've got a flaming sphere. We could all gather around the flaming sphere.
Well, maybe we should take a little bit of a rest. A short rest, perhaps, and maybe we can dry off and you can do a bit of a campfire.
You probably need to continue on past the lake because there's only it's maybe 4 feet that you have between cave wall and where the water stops, where the water starts. And you're walking across rounded boulders, so there's maybe water in between those.
Well,
there's
yes, not right now,
space.
of course, but just
so yeah, you'll have to continue down that. Also, some risk of being reacquired by creepy things in the lake.
That was what I was worried about.
I do have gust of wind, but it's a little more potent than I think you'd probably prefer right now.
Everybody roll stealth.
Oh, that's not going to go well.
Giant lizard stealth.
Thump, 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 thump.
Wet, squishy stealth.
That's a 2.
Man,
8.
Giant lizard branch.
16.
6.
You guys.
14.
Okay.
Whoa.
You're the DM. You could decide that a 2 is passing.
I can decide that I shouldn't have asked that question. So you're walking along for a while, maybe 15 minutes or so, kind of squish, 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 hard because you're wet to even not fall back into the water again. Branch is still a giant lizard, which involves some splashing along because he doesn't really fit in the width of what path is available to you to get past this lake.
Can we ride him? If he's that giant?
Yes. Let's discuss that.
Sarsa is so soaked and she really doesn't want to be near the waterline after her last little experience. So she'd say, Branch, would you mind if I popped on top just so I can keep an eye out a little bit further ahead? And, that way they won't see us coming. Do you mind if I jump on top and hitch a ride?
On me? On Branch?
Yes, did I stutter?
No, but you just said on top. Branch was not sure. Yes. Clamber aboard.
So Sarsa will jump on board Branch.
Good time. Anybody else going up there? You probably don't all fit.
I'm giant.
People could ride in his
huge.
mouth. Totally won't swallow you.
I think Oliver would just walk ahead and kind of like,
All right.
try to be noble and scout ahead.
I just want to ride a giant lizard.
Hell yeah, there it is. Oliver, give me a dexterity check.
That'll be a 21.
Nice. So you're walking for a while, kind of getting comfortable with things, but still being wary of the lake. And at some point, tentacles reach out again. One wraps its self around one leg of the giant subterranean lizard. One goes for Oliver, but Oliver, you're pretty quick, and sort of like in an instant, before the one gets to you, you're able to sever that tentacle, just like noticing it coming.
I'm imagining we're a little all on guard after the lake and being near the water, so I just have my staff ready, and the tentacle comes up. I'm just gonna be like, no, just smack it. And it's like,
for sure.
It's like a cat.
That one's going for you. You take care of it, and then you're able to also kind of like react to the one that grabbed the leg of the giant subterranean lizard. Is too big for it to like yank on, but it's got a hold of his leg, and you can handle that however you want to.
Oh yeah.
I think I stepped in something. I am stuck.
It's all right. I've got it for you.
All right, that handles that. You can take some of that with you if you want some tentacle for later. Randall, if you want to stuff a giant tentacle end in your bag.
Let me get some tentacle in there.
Don't have time for calamari, Randall.
So it takes maybe half an hour or so after that, but you're eventually able to get past this giant lake and get into more of a clearing. So if you want to attempt a short rest, you certainly can.
What do we think?
Still a little too close for my taste to that lake. Those slippery tentacles could come at any moment.
This is true. Let's press on a little further.
Agreed.
We venture forth.
All right, so you're able to see, using the map, the holocron, we decided to call it, you're able to see kind of like a chamber a little bit ahead that you can continue on, and assuming there's nothing hideous looking in there, it seems like it'd be an okay place to camp. So you do eventually make your way to that. It's kind of like an opening. It's maybe like 20 feet diameter chamber, roughly, that you can hole up in for a little bit, as long as you kind of keep your guard up.
Yeah, we'll take a short rest.
And Randall will gently start bring on his and kind of adding some distortion as he goes. But he'll use Song of Rest, the bard feature.
Excellent.
What does that do?
You can spend hit dice at the end of the short rest. By spending one or more, each of those creatures gain an extra 1d6 hit point. So if anybody wants extra hit dice recovery, you get an extra 1d6.
Oh, I can stay in lizard form for 7 hours. I'm good.
For a successful short rest, Jen, roll a d20. Roll high, Jen.
That's an 8.
That's an 8, you said?
Yes, that's an 8.
All right, good enough. You keep your guard up. You hear some creepy cave noises, but nothing comes at you. You're able to get the effects of a short rest without being attacked by anything or slurped on or anything. Any, besides just kind of like recovering some short rest hit points and abilities, anything people want to check in on?
I suppose if we find your friend, Gravely, and if we find Malkadoth or this ancient dragon or whatever we find down here, what is the plan of attack? Are we trying to rescue him and then running, or are we fighting until the end? What would you like the ultimate outcome to be? Are we trying to get out and then use the rest of the townsfolk as a catalyst for everyone to fight this thing? It's probably going to come after us.
I mean, my priority is to get Gravely and get him out of here. And if we think we can do that safely without getting taken down by whatever's in there, then I would say we don't fool around with it until we can gather some reinforcements.
So
But if push comes to shove, I'll fight to the death.
So we're trying to be sneaky if we can. And it might be something where we can be sneaky and take him out without arousing suspicion. Excellent. But if we have to fight, I think everyone is ready. Nods all around. Good.
Yes.
Yes.
Nodding is the best
works
response
great
on a
for audio.
podcast.
Yes.
What's everybody's sort of situation, spell slots? Like, where is everybody at? Hit point wise, spell, other things. What conditions
doing
everybody
fine.
in after a short rest?
I'm pretty good. Got my key
Sarsa,
points back.
she's
Ooh, that's
used
nice.
a 5th, a 6th, and a 3rd level spell slot. So it's not terrible, but it's not great.
All right, you continue on then. And you're able to go without too much incident, travel on maybe an hour or so. It's getting warm. It's getting kind of dank, I want to say. Like, you're starting to get a little bit of kind of getting a little bit of a...
I get it, man.
Yeah, man, maybe 3 days ago.
It's starting to smell a little bit funky as you get kind of towards the central layer that you're headed for.
Randall, quick, can you stop whatever smell that's emanating?
No, mine is more of a putrid meat and cheese. This is more of a wet moss and fungus.
Oh, you quite know your olfactory sense.
Well, of course.
That's his thing. You get into... So you're getting pretty close to the lair-looking area. And... you come across, the first thing you come across is actually like what is like very obviously a spike pit, but it's been like, maybe it's designed to be like covered up, or it have like a very like thin slab on top of it, so you'd walk over it and fall in, but it's like long since collapsed. So you can just see, oh, there's giant spikes on the bottom of this pit. It's easy to walk around, but you have sort of a sense of traps here.
Yeah.
And as you continue on, you also see like, well, everybody roll perception or investigation.
I'll just kind of like, as I'm walking along, like having seen that, I'll just use the staff to kind of like tap, 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 like ahead of me, just to kind of check for any like.
Ooh, nat 20 on perception.
Ooh. Got a 22.
15.
7.
Somewhere between an 11 and a 16, because I'm trying to figure out which statistics I'm supposed to use.
That's fine. Yeah, so Sarsa and Oliver both, you're kind of more noticing, on alert for traps. You notice some like very small sort of like slits in the rock that look like murder holes, essentially like little holes that somebody could shoot arrows out of down at you. Kind of random intervals. It doesn't look like they're really concentrated, but like you kind of take a look at the holocron and you can see that this area starts to be, you're at the kind of beginning of an area that continues all the way up to the main kind of chamber you're headed to. And it's interlaced, like behind the walls is like a whole like spider web of much smaller tunnels.
So what do you make of this?
Well, it looks like we're sitting ducks continuing on this way, and I'll point out all of the arrow slots and stuff. But to me, that says that we're headed in the right direction.
Tiburon, do you get a sense that any of these defensive positions might be manned, or are they abandoned? You have a good sense of these things, being a former pirate.
If they were manned, I'd be very curious what they would be manned by. Doesn't strike me as a lot of intelligent creatures are out here.
Everybody roll nature.
Nature?
Yeah.
3.
13.
Ooh. 2.
19.
Okay.
It's not looking good.
Let's see. 13 plus my nature is 6. 19 also.
So Branch and Tiburon, you both clue in real easily to this, and nobody else does at all. Assembling the facts of the situation and observing, these are pretty clearly kobold tunnels that are carved out by kobolds behind the main tunnel. And that makes a lot of sense in terms of kobolds being around a dragon's lair as sort of like a protective lair. And so these are probably kobold traps. Those are probably holes where kobolds could shoot out of, but there doesn't seem to be any that you can perceive here. That spike trap definitely, has been in the state that it's been in for a pretty long time.
We should look out for the little doggy lizard humans.
What do you know of these kobolds, Branch?
Branch had a friend named Soot once, who is a kobold, and Soot was kind of evil, but also kind of nice.
Oh yes, we dealt with him. He was a bit of an older fellow for kobolds.
Yes, but I do not smell kobolds here.
I believe this place seems abandoned. Good fortune for us.
Or an ill omen?
That too.
So you continue on for a little bit. You pass under also like a rock fall, like similarly to the spike trap. Like there's a spot where it was previously rigged for rocks to like fall down on people passing through this corridor and crush them, but the rocks are all like down on the ground, like it's already been triggered and hasn't been kind of reset. But you do hear around, kind of checking that out. You hear sort of like off in the distance, like a.
Sounds like there's some friends over there. They sound pretty good.
Like squirrels.
Let us tread carefully.
Does it sound like either common or goblin? Because those are the two languages I speak.
No, you don't. You don't translate it into anything. It definitely sounds like maybe a kobold kind of dialect.
Who wants to go ahead and scout it out?
I can go.
Okay, be quiet.
All right, I'm going to try and stealth my way over there. Do you want me to make a stealth roll?
So where you are is there's still a few kind of like murder holes, but they're too small for you to kind of like get through. There's a big hole in the ceiling that you could go up into and kind of like get into some of these tunnels a little bit. You're not quite sure. I mean, in the nature of like a cave where things kind of like echo and sound moves around, you don't have a super good sense of what direction that came from. So you could try to kind of climb ahead or go wherever if you wanted to, but you're not sure.
And it's hard to know which direction it came from, but I could just start scouting ahead. So I'm just going to start moving ahead as like stealthily as I can and see if I hear any more that'll like give me an idea of what way to go.
All right, so you move on ahead of the group a little bit. Roll stealth.
17.
Pretty good.
Well, I get advantage because of my boots of
Elven kind or whatnot?
Yep.
Nice. All right. What does that give you?
While I wear these boots, my steps make no sound, and I have advantage on dexterity stealth checks that rely on moving silently.
So was 17 your advantage roll, or do you need to roll again?
Yes. No, that was my advantage roll.
Okay. All right, so 17 takes care of you. You're able to kind of like tiptoe ahead, and it's quieter without your companions, including a giant subterranean lizard, so you're able to kind of get far enough ahead that like you can minimize extra kind of like scuffling and dust, and you kind of stop a moment to just like listen, and you hear a little bit more like very far away, like hard to really place, but more of the kind of like with no good sense of where it is. But then you do kind of like hear the sound of an arrow. I mean, not necessarily an arrow, but like a something flying through the air sort of thing. And you have a sensation of getting hit by something, and you'll take 2 damage. And it kind of like hit you in your sort of like right shoulder, kind of like behind you. But kind of like looking at that wound, there's not like an arrow or a dart or anything in you. But you feel like you got shot by something.
And I want to communicate that via my knight's tattoo to the group. Hey, oi! I've been hit by something behind me. And I'm going to try and...
You do so.
Oliver
See.
charges forward. He's like, come on! No
As soon as
chill
Oliver
whatsoever.
charges forward, Branch would follow or attempt to.
Randall goes, "Hey, what's going on?"
Sarsa! We are coming!
Sarsa, you hear in your head, Randall, because I'm using my telepathy. Sarsa is hit, and we are going to help. This way.
Oh, let's go.
So you are charged up there. Sarsa, you hear the sound kind of like echoing through the chamber of them like getting to move on towards you. You turn back to like the direction that theoretically something would have been shot from, and you see roll perception.
24.
Oh, dang. So you turn that direction.
I have really high perceptions.
Yeah. You turn that direction, and what you see is not an actual creature, but more of a shadow. And as the noise starts up and your friends are clearly approaching, that shadow like disappears from sight.
Do I have the vibes that there's anything else like still watching aside from that shadow?
With your previous high perception roll, I would say yes. You're like very much feel like you're being observed, like you have been being observed, and they're still observing you.
There was a shadow and it's gone, but we're being watched. We're surrounded. I don't know what to do.
Wait, did you actually see your assailant? Were they large?
Like, I saw a shadow. I don't know. It's all so fast.
Well, there are a lot of beings that take the form of some sort of a wraith or a shadow or something like that, so we should be on our guard. Let's go forward together and just be on alert.
Randall is going to he's going to go into his trash bag and he's going to pull like a broken like piece of like goggles out, and he's going to like take some little chemicals and like spray it on it and then like wipe it on, and then he's going to kind of like squish it a little bit and then put it on, and he's going to essentially be casting See Invisibility.
Ooh.
A new spell that he just got
Nice.
from leveling up. So for the duration, he can see invisible creatures and objects as if they were visible, and can see into the ethereal plane.
Okay.
And ethereal creatures and objects appear ghostly and translucent.
Oh, and also, did I hear the little speaky language? Did I hear the little...
Yes.
Or was that... So, as a monk at this level 13, I have Tongue of the Sun and Moon, and I can understand any spoken language.
All right, nice. You transfer, like, even with the translations, it's a little bit like broken apart. You only pick sort of certain words, but you get sort of like the vibe of like invaders, get them, defend the lair, go, serve the master, kind of thing.
Oh.
See Invisibility, you do not immediately pick up anything like traditionally invisible, like an invisibility spell, but more on the ethereal plane bit. You look around and you see these shadows, Randall, like all over the place. You see like the image of a being, of a like kobold-sized being on the edges of all over. You see like shadows move through the holes. You have a sense that like, oh, these things are everywhere.
Like dozens of them?
Yeah. I mean, dozens that you can see, but also with the knowledge of how much like honeycombed spiderwebby, like small cobalt tunnels are beyond, like probably way more than dozens are out here, but they're not visible outside of the ethereal plane. And at that moment, while he's kind of like looking through these goggles with like a deep, like, am I seeing kind of thing? Oliver, you get hit with a similar thing of Sarsa, like a, and the sensation that you got like shot by something sharp, but there's nothing physically there and there's no physical wound, but you take also 2 necrotic damage.
Ah, what the devil blazes? Ow. Oh, that's smart. What hit me? Is there a thing on my back? Is there an arrow on my back?
Randall's gonna come over to everybody and be like, guys,
It was not pleasant.
we're surrounded.
Surrounded by what?
little kobolds. They're
Listen, I don't need any of your poppycock, Randall, right now. I
no,
need
look,
you
and
to
he
focus
takes
up.
off. He takes off the goggles. Goes, no, look.
Mm.
We're gonna bend the rules of the artificer class.
I will accept that.
I'll just kind of hold them up. And do I see them too?
Yes, I will give you that. What's the duration of sea invisibility without artificer craziness?
Like an hour.
Okay.
An hour.
Like an
I
hour?
think, yeah.
1 hour? All right. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. You have these goggles that are...
Yeah, and here in the player's handbook, duration, I don't know, an hour?
Sure.
Hour-ish, it
quote.
says. Yeah.
I will give you that. He's enchanted these like little goggles he put together, and anybody can use them, and it's super disturbing to put them on, because Oliver, you kind of peer through them and you get this same like, oh, there's little shadow kobolds all over the place.
Oh,
Branch tries to look through them, but his face is too big.
no, I'm not even
Over
giving them
one
to you.
eye for the other.
So there's a clear path forward, right? But they're like looking through these things. Are there a bunch like around the path or blocking the path?
Not really blocking the path. There's more up there, but there's also some kind of like on the edges of the chamber that you're in and behind you, and like they sort of scatter a little bit as you kind of like move towards them.
I'm gonna tell Randall, say, all right, listen.
Okay.
I have an idea.
Okay.
When I say go, and I tell this to everybody, like I'll kind of like, when I say run forward towards the exit of this cavern. I'm going to try to clear a path. We'll have a brief moment where we might be able to make it through without getting swarmed. Can I borrow these for a second?
Sure.
Put these on. And then I'm going to pull out the wand of magic missiles.
Okay.
Which I forgot where I got that from, but I got it from somewhere. And I will shoot out. Can I cast? It has 7 charges. Can I use all 7? Or do I have to roll for something for
7 charges of magic missile? You could probably shoot them out in consecutive turns. I don't think you could shoot them all at once, but you could just fire one out and 6 seconds later fire another one.
Gotcha. All right. Sarsa or Randall, do you have anything that might cause a bit of a distraction for them? I'll give the goggles back to Randall.
Thanks.
I think Randall might be better suited for that.
Yeah, actually, I've been since our short rest. I've been working on something, and he opens up his trash bag, and he pulls out this thing. It's about the size of like a dinner plate, and it's like it's got a little like metallic body, and it's got these little legs on it. Kind of look like crab legs, and like one maybe is a crab leg, like from a crab that died and like got filled with some clay or something, and it's got like some springs and some gears and like a bunch of different stuff on it that he kind of put together. And he goes, "Yeah, I got this thing here, and I'll take this." And he takes a little thing of like a little can of like silly string, and he puts it on it, and he takes a like a little like sparkler, and he puts it on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has crafted a Vox Seeker, which is a common magical item, which is like a little robotic crab. And so he's going to wind it up, and he's going to say, "Okay, buddy, you run that way." And then he's going to push down the button on the silly string and then light off the sparkler, and he's going to put it down on the floor. So it's like a little automaton, but he's going to make it go run the other way. And he goes, "Okay, go." And so it starts spray it out, and its little legs go and start going back the way that we kind of get. Okay, go. Run, guys, run.
And who has the goggles at this point?
Randall does.
Do I guess? This way.
That has the effect. So you all run forward. The crazy automaton thing that he just set up runs backwards the direction that you came. Randall, you see those kobolds, in fact, scatter away from the crab thing while everybody runs forwards. But it kind of upsets the ones that aren't in that direction. So as you kind of like run down the chamber, everybody roll a dexterity check.
Come on, baby.
11.
Checker save.
Check.
22.
Nice.
12.
18.
10.
All right. So that was.
By the way, Zach, we're calling these ghost kobolds Ghobolds.
Sounds good. Ghobolds with a GH.
Ghobolds?
GH Obolds. Ghobolds.
All right. So you end up taking off, just like charging through these chambers, like a whole bunch of chambers, but these kind of like necrotic darts start firing out pretty regularly. Overall, branch to your subterranean lizard form, you're going to take 18 damage from necrotic darts shooting out at you. Sarsa, you'll take
Oh, can I try something? Do I see the darts?
no.
Damn it. All right.
You monks.
I was going to try to grab it. I was going to try to missile. All right.
But also your dexterity is high enough that none actually hit you. But for people that roll the lower, Tiburon, you're going to take 20 necrotic damage from 10 hits. Sarsa, you'll take 16. And Randall, you'll take just 4.
Okay.
And so you end up, it's kind of like Indiana Jones escaping the giant, like, rolling ball sort of dart shooting at you. You just, like, charge through. You're, like, coming upon traps and things as you go and, like, jumping over pits. You don't really have time to, like, guard. You're hoping everything that's been here has been already triggered because you're jumping around rocks and things. And, like, you definitely, like, sounds of these kobolds kind of, like, rolling around. And so you get hit variously, but eventually you're able to get a little bit clear. And you kind of like enter in a chamber where for whatever reason, it's close to the end of... God, it's good pantomime, Jeff. It's very close to the end of like the Kobold region and where this layer area begins. But you kind of all tumble into a chamber that is actually lit a little bit. There's it looks like just a rock, but it's glowing in sort of the middle of this chamber. And sort of like there's a solid sense of the kobold attack stopped. For whatever reason, this is a little bit of like a safe spot. But what's sort of like set up in the middle of this sort of like widened out chamber is a bunch of skeletons and treasure. Bags and things kind of like strewn about. And what you seem to be looking at is a long dead adventuring party that had a fair amount of kind of like gold coins and such, but they don't appear to have made it.
This isn't ominous at all, right?
Were they going our direction or were they leaving? Or we don't know. We can't tell.
Investigation.
Okay.
Randall.
The Randall. He's just a doll. 15.
I'm very old. Do I recognize any of them? Like old friends?
They're skeletons.
The next line looks like Bartholomew.
You know, like what they were wearing, or like the number.
Yorick, I hardly knew ye.
Yeah, Oliver roll investigation too for sizing them up. Randall, your investigation on direction and also just sort of like logicking out the clues is like they probably made it into a dragon's hoard and were attempting to escape with what they could carry. It looks like a lot, so they were maybe a little bit too greedy and got attacked by something that was able to catch up and take them out.
I do not recognize anything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they have very tattered, deteriorated stuff. They're obviously deteriorated skeletons. There's some kind of like shreds of clothes and things on them, but
I would recommend maybe not touching any of the gold. It might be a trap itself. These poor chaps, are giving us a warning of some kind that there is something ill afoot. And I know we know that, but just, it's good to have validation that, in fact, we are heading in the right direction.
I'm sorry, Branch was not paying attention. What is on their feet?
No, it's a figure of... never mind. Let's keep going.
Are there any good-looking bones, like, in there? Like, really cleaned up and, like, looking
Randall?
good?
Are there any sexy bones?
Ooh, girl.
Gosh.
Ooh, that femur.
Very
Darn.
good. on that tibia. Mm.
Yeah.
Sorry, you asked about good-looking bones.
No particular bone stands out more than if you want to search, you can totally either one of you can roll for what you're looking for.
I'm gonna roll for what I'm looking for. A good
Okay.
sample.
Roll
Uh-huh.
for
I
sexy
think
bone.
I might already have what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
Investigation.
Sure.
Okay. 25.
Oh dang! All right.
Scapula or
No. There's just not.
The bones are all of similar. I mean, I don't know what Randall considers a good-looking bone, but they're all kind of like in a similar state of deterioration, and they've been there a long time. You can grab any bone you want if you want to grab some bones, but nothing stands out to you. But what
With
does stand out to you is one of them's wearing a helmet that seems less deteriorated than the rest of their stuff. One of the helmets seems kind of like pretty new looking. You wouldn't think of it's been
Ooh.
sitting in a cave for centuries. It looks okay.
Randall, don't I wouldn't touch that.
look at this cool helmet. He's gonna
Wait,
put it
don't-
on.
That's our Randall.
And then he's gonna attune to it. Helmet, give me your secrets.
I mean, do you want to identify it or anything, or you just want to like wear it around for a little bit until you're takes like an hour to attune to something the old-fashioned way?
See, I have a identify somewhere. Yes, I will use an identify. Boom. Randall's knowledge of objects. Beep.
Okay.
Tell me your
so
secrets,
you
helmet.
put on this helmet, which is in fact magical. That's why it didn't deteriorate. Its quality is that if you are struck with a critical hit, that it doesn't affect you. So the extra kind of like critical
Ooh.
dice will not take because safety. But also you hear a voice that is like, "Oh man, thank you. I've been on that skeleton's head for a long time, and like you're kind of furry and it's an interesting texture on your scalp here, but I'll take this. I'll take this over where I've been, because it's been a lot of, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time."
Oh, a talking helmet. What's up, buddy? What's your name?
Randall says out loud as everybody listens with
Wait,
eyes
Randall?
raised.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
The helmet. It talks to me.
No, take it off.
Don't
That
talk
is
to the
never a
helmet,
good
Randall.
sign.
Oh no,
Randall's
don't take
gonna
me
go-
off. I'm cool.
Randall's gonna go,
I'm gonna be cool.
He's going to kind of pull on. He's going to go, oh, I can't get it off. I can't take it off, guys. It's stuck to me.
What is it saying?
It's saying me to do the Dark Lord's bidding.
Hey man, don't do that. I'm cool. Tell him I'm cool. I'm Cleaselbub, by the way. Cleaselbub.
I'm just messing with you. It's Cleaselbub.
That sounds like a bad person's name.
Wow, that is really offensive. I do not like your lizard guy friend. Wait, he didn't hear that because you're a giant lizard.
Wait, do you hear my thoughts, or do you just hear what I say, Queaselbub?
No, you can hear what I say in your noggin here because I'm surrounding it, but you got to talk out loud to me, which is usually socially awkward. But I'm already getting a sense that you're probably cool with that. So this could be a good match.
I think it's going to be a great match, buddy. Hey, you keep an eye out for anything weird, and then I'll be on the lookout for anything that helps you.
Oh, cool, man. But I don't really have eyes. Like, I have sort of a perception, but it's really like inward pointing. So I'm really just like looking at your old noggin here. You got some interesting cranial ridges. And, to me, that signifies intelligence. I don't know about you. You seem like a pretty smart guy to me.
Well, thank you. You're the first person ever to say something like that to me, so I appreciate it.
I kind of lean over to Tiburon and I said, "Listen, talking objects are never a good idea. I've dealt with several of these over the past centuries. They always end up either being a little crazy or some sort of king that got trapped in a sword or a dagger or something. They always want something eventually. It's you might want to convince Randall. This is not boding well for his. I don't understand him. All right, I've tried to initiate him, and he didn't. He turned it down, and I'm quite I was quite offended that happened. So maybe you could talk some sense into him.
All right.
Wow, that old guy's kind of a jerk.
I know he thinks we can't hear him, but he's.
I mean, it's really
It's
echoey
very
in here.
loud.
Like a whisper's not even going to carry it. Like we can hear.
Hey, Randall. Branch has a friend.
Yes,
named Jarek,
yes, big lizard friend.
my friend Jarek, he has a talking sword. Ask your helmet if he knows a sword named Joe.
Oh, okay. Hey, Gweaselbub, do you know a sword named Joe?
No, why?
Do you guys like all hang out? Like,
No, that is very
On the other
offensive.
side?
All right. Is this? Did somebody say like just because they know a different talking object that we must like hang out in some like talking object club or something? No, it's a big world. I don't know other. I don't know.
okay, well, do you know another talking object?
Yeah, I know a couple, but that's just coincidence. You know,
okay,
everybody
well,
knows a lot of things.
okay.
I don't know, Joe. Is that short
Okay,
for
well.
something?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, I'll let you know.
Maybe Joseph.
This is, by the way, this helmet is like it's the most exaggerated Viking helmet, like not that kinds of helmet Vikings actually wore, but what got like inserted into history at some point. At some point, it has like giant horns sticking up out of it, and it comes kind of like
those
low
big
down.
those big Texas cows.
Yeah, like longhorn horns. It's got like a nose protector, so it kind of comes down over Randall's nose, except Randall's nose is kind of a snout, so it just sort of like hits it and sort of like sticks out a little bit awkwardly.
Bends it up. He bends it up a little so that
Yeah.
takes out his pliers and
It
bends it
fits.
up so his snout comes out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a
Makes
little
a
bit
couple
too big for
extra
him.
widens the holes a little bit on the side because his eyes are a little more on the side for his possum face.
Yep, works great.
Cool, let's go.
I don't like this. This is a bad idea.
I predict no problems with this going forward. And I'm immune to critical hits.
All right. Well, the Ghobolds don't seem to be currently troubling you. You don't hear them or anything. This dead treasure hoard seems to not have anything else worth rummaging around it. I mean, there are a bunch of coins, but if you want to steer clear of them, that seems fine. The one thing somebody touched from this hoard does seem to be a little bit concerning.
It seems fine.
Yeah.
It's all gonna work out.
You continue moving down a little bit, and you get to a door.
Oh dear.
A door, a deer, a female deer.
It's got kind of an arch over it, and kind of like looks like two stone pieces that came together and are wedged together. They don't look like they are on it like a hinge. They look like they're supposed to kind of like slide open, but they are currently closed.
Well, stand back, everyone. Let me inspect this. I'd like to do inspect the door investigation or something, just to see if it's locked or trapped.
Sure. Roll investigation. The helmet's Kleezelbub with a K.
8.
Not huge. You see kind of like a sense that like it looks like maybe it had runes or something inscribed on it a long time ago, but they're sort of deteriorated and nothing you could read.
It's a little hard to make out. Oliver internally is just feeling like kind of that, like he's feeling a little old. Like he's feeling like I really want to feel like I'm contributing something, and but I'm worried that like I can't read. Like he's kind of just like, oh, I don't want to admit this, but he's like, well, I'm not sure. I think perhaps someone else should take a look, just a second opinion.
Anybody else want to take a look?
I mean, sure.
Sarsa,
see what we got here.
Tiburon, no offense, Branch, for your giant lizard, so...
I'll take a look.
My brain is not a lizard brain.
Yes, but your eyes are lizard eyes, so it's just...
They are very big. Maybe they will see something that your little human eyes do not see.
Sarsa, go ahead and roll investigation while they chatter about that.
That is a dirty 20.
Oh, there it is.
All right, so you take a good look at this, and you're able to kind of like discern and kind of piece some clues together. Like it does look like there is some like glyphs and things written on it a long time ago that are sort of deteriorated. So you have maybe 90% confidence that this door was maybe once magically enchanted with something, maybe a trap or some sort of like a password or something that opened it. But again, with like roughly 90% confident, maybe not, but it seems like it's probably not functioning anymore. And these are just giant stone slabs that need opening.
All right, I will convey that to the team. It looks like there was previously an enchantment, but I don't know that it's still active, but we could probably get through here if we can just get these slabs to move. She looks at the giant subterranean lizard.
I can try. I would like to try.
To move them?
Yeah.
Through what means? They're pretty tightly kind of like wedged together.
I want to try to like push them in where they probably do not turn that way. I'm going to like push that way.
All right, give me a strength roll.
That's a 7, which is good considering I have a +5.
So you like run up and headbutt this thing after having a whole discussion about like, I'm a lizard, I'm totally functional, my brain works in here. You just like headbutt the thing and nothing really happens other than your head hurts a little bit. And it generally confirms that like these don't really swing. They need to get like pried apart, basically.
Ow, that did not work. If perhaps you were to put something in between the doors and then Branch could push on that to maybe open the door. But
we don't see like anything that looks like maybe like a keypad or like a thing that's built in to like open them.
Not on this side. If there's anything like that, it's probably on the other side.
Well, that's no help, Zach.
Well, I'm pretty sure I brought a crowbar. I could give this a try. I'll bust out a crowbar from my pack and try and wedge it in there. See if that does anything.
Yeah, you're able to kind of like just get the sort of like edge of the crowbar in there, kind of like shove it in. Give me a strength check actually to kind of like shove it in enough to get some leverage.
21.
Nice. Yeah, you're able to just like, you get the like point of the crowbar in and just like shove it in with your strength, and you're able to jam it in there just like an inch or two and then have some pretty good leverage to pull on it. We'll continue with a good strength check. You're able to, using the crowbar, like wedge it open just like a couple of inches so that you can get a little bit more. People can kind of like reach in and all together. Maybe lizard headbutts the crowbar or whatever, but all together. Actually, so let me have Tiburon roll a d10.
3.
All right. Yep. No enchantments here. It's just the doors. Good for not rolling a 1. So yeah, they open up. You're all able to kind of like shove them open over time, at least wide enough for all of you to get through. Maybe a little bit questionable for the lizard, but probably lizard goes last, and you're able to maybe like just get your nose in there and kind of use your body to shove it open a little bit more. You're all able to get through. And you're in a dark chamber. Most of you have dark vision except for Tiburon. And this chamber looks filled with treasure. It's about maybe 50 feet in diameter. It's pretty big. And you're looking at kind of like a big pile of gold and jewels. It looks like maybe at the very top of this pile, there's a kind of like sword and maybe some magic items stuck in it. Nice. Looks kind of hoardy.
More treasure.
Any ones that look untarnished by time for which I could wear?
No more helmets, Randall. You got one. You got one talking helmet. All right.
But maybe there's talking bracers or talking boots or a talking belt.
I don't like this. I think seeing all this right now makes me nervous. That we need to keep moving and find your friend. This seems to be an undue temptation.
Cleezelbub, you see any friends in here?
Like more talking. I don't like this dynamic that's developing between us. You want more talking items? I don't know any of those up there. The only like items you see in this kind of like pile of treasure are at the very top. There's nothing sort of like laying around other than golden jewels.
Oh yeah, that's a trap. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go.
There's not much. This chamber doesn't really have any openings or anything. It's just this sort of like big, somewhat rounded chamber full of treasure.
Well, do we reach the end? Do we need to go back? Do we miss a spot?
What do we see on the holocron? Is there any like exits or secret entrances or anything like that?
So pulling up the holocron, what you see is you're actually like right above a much bigger chamber, which is generally what you've been heading towards. So this is actually like a big room that is sort of the cherry on top of a bigger room that is below you.
Maybe there's a entrance or a door underneath some of this treasure. Like there's actually like a secret entrance or something. Oliver will go over to where the center is and kind of poke around a little bit with the staff, kind of seeing if there's any hard surfaces or things underneath.
So like up onto the sort of pile.
Yes.
Okay. So you head up there, kind of like step and poke. You get like, you poke into like, yep, pile of treasure. And then you get to a point where
Flesh.
you get to a point where like, yeah, you're getting pretty comfortable with like treasure, and then scoosh. And you definitely hit something different. And like the whole central piece of the pile, including the like items and stuff at the top, like kind of like erupts all around you and like throws out, it stays in the form of treasure, but all of a sudden like whips and arms and like teeth of treasure is flying around, and you have the sense that you are right on top of a giant mimic. Everybody roll initiative.
I do a backflip.
Check the initiative.
Oi.
Oh, not
19.
bad.
12 for me.
15 for Oliver.
4.
9.
All right, so Oliver inadvertently stabs a thing that erupts into what appears to be a really large mimic, treasure hoard mimic. But also kind of at that moment, the rest of you kind of like down on the, just inside the doorway, hear a lot of kind of like skittering and clanking, and you kind of like notice some of the coins around you kind of like start to move around, and you realize like a lot of those little coins are, if not alive, like they're moving. They have like little legs on them and things, and they sort of coalesce into two sort of like clumps that come at you. So one of these swarm of horde scarabs is going to attack first, and it comes at Tiburon. Swarm of bites would be their action, melee weapon action.
Yikes.
Tiburon's AC is probably, actually it's not amazing, right? What's your AC, Tiburon?
It is not amazing. It is 19.
All right, well, they only managed a 17. So these things kind of like come at you, engage your space, and sort of like crawl up all around you, but you're able to swat them away and kind of like manage it, kind of get into fighter stance and avoid taking any particular damage, although you might be. It's a kind of freaky little experience. And that'll bring us to your turn, Tiburon.
I guess I'm going to want to swing at these things then. Yeah, I'll take a swing, and in the first one, I'll use up my frostbite cantrip from my sword.
Okay.
So I'll do some extra cold damage on that one. Yeah, that's 23. That's 20. And that one's 27.
Dang, okay, all those will hit.
First one is going to be 13 regular damage plus, so 13, 11 cold damage.
Okay.
14 and 14.
All right. Yeah, those strikes will dispatch this swarm. You're able to just like, you're cutting through it, you're knocking them away, and whatever's left after you kind of lay into them and freeze them and stuff kind of like scatters back into the pile. So you've managed that swarm pretty well. It's gone. Do you have anything left to your action? To your turn?
I could move, but I'm not exactly sure where I'd want to move. I guess I could like get in front of someone. Who's closer to me, Sarsa or Randall?
Randall is closer to you. You can see that there's another kind of like swarm coalescing on the other side of things, more on where Sarsa is, and there's also this big mimic thing up where Oliver went up the hill. And you're not sure if there might be more swarms around.
Okay, then I'm gonna move myself to at some point between Randall and Sarsa. So headed towards Sarsa's direction, but just kind of in the general vicinity of Randall. So if something tries to attack him, I'm around.
Okay. That will bring us to the other horde of scarabs. So, Sarsa, what's your AC?
16.
That will get a swarm of bites on you. So these kind of things crawl up all over you. And you sustain what is maybe a bite. You're not really sure. Maybe you're getting pinched between coins. I don't know, but it hurts. And you're going to take 8 damage from that.
I'm sorry, just to confirm, that was melee damage, like it hit me. It was a physical attack?
Yes, they're climbing up on top of you. It's piercing damage.
Then I would like to use my Wrath of the Storm to thunderously rebuke my attacker.
All right.
That's going to be a DC 17.
It's going to fail that.
Great. Then it's going to take 9 thunder damage.
So you basically emit like a thunderous wave against these things. They'll take that damage and also get kind of like thrown back, like coins kind of like spray out from every side, from every direction of you. So you don't have anything on you for the moment, but they sort of like recoalesce into a swarm that's a few feet off of you. That'll be their turn, and that brings us to the Mimic up there with Oliver. It's going to use Caustic Mist. A Mimic sprays a fine mist of acid in a 30-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a DC 14 dexterity saving throw. So that's going to take, we'll say, Oliver and Lizard Branch, whose big old lizard body blocks its effects from the rest of you.
I did not save
Okay. Oliver?
because I got a 5.
I'm going to use evasion, so half damage.
Okay.
But because I failed, so I got a 9, so I'm assuming that's half damage.
What is the terminology around evasion? It's not just, is it reduced damage or is it convert a...
You are subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dex saving throw to take only half damage. You instead take no damage if you succeed on the saving throw and only half damage if you fail.
Okay. Lizard Branch will take 27 acid damage. You also got acid in your eyes and you are blinded. Oliver, you will reduce that to... What's half of 27? It's like 15, 16, 16?
26 would be 13.
All right, 13. 13 damage for Oliver. But, I mean, what I was feeling out there is like you are also, for a fail, you are also blinded.
Okay.
So you're having the damage, but you'll still take that effect that you cannot see. You got acid in your eyes.
Ah! Rats!
Hey, where? Ow.
And that moves on to Oliver. It's your turn.
Cool. So I can't see.
You can't see. You do have a sense of where it was, where it just sprayed you from. So you could attack it at disadvantage or whatever.
All right, I'll do that. I'm going to attack it twice at disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh, boy. I rolled a 1 and a 13. So that's going to be 12 is the one with disadvantage for my first attack.
12 will miss.
And 20. Oh, here we go. 28.
That will hit.
17 plus 11. I'm just swinging kind of with my eyes closed, just like, and then whack, 13 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And I know I can't see it, but I'm still going to use a key point and try to do a stunning strike. So it has to make a Constitution saving throw, unless it's immune to that.
It is not. But it does have proficiency in Constitution rolls.
I got a pretty high con, DC 18.
Rolled a 16, so it's stunned for a turn.
Fail.
You're blinded. It's stunned.
It's a really funny looking thing. I'm just like blind swinging, and it just goes it just kind of seizes, and I'm like not seeing anything. Just
You don't actually know if that stunning strike worked or not, but you have a sense that things got a little calmer. Do you have more to your turn?
that's I mean What can I do? What else can I do? I'm blind. I will spend another key point to use Step of the Wind to patient defense.
Okay.
Patient defense. So that will take the dodge action should it try to attack me.
Okay. So it is stunned. You are dodging, and you're blinded. Sarsa, the horde scarabs by you that you just sort of like dispatched as they like coalesce, they all sort of like, you see them kind of like, they have like wings. The little coin thing like kind of detaches and has little wings, and like all of them start shaking their wings at you, and it creates like a cloud that sort of like overtakes you a little bit.
Oh, I don't like that.
So make a dexterity saving throw for that.
They're all like those little dinosaurs that like put their frills up like
18.
Okay, you're good.
Are you talking about the Dilophosaurus, the spitty one?
Yep. Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about that dust. It's all good. Moving on to Randall's turn.
Oh geez.
All right, since he's right next to me, I'm going to go with the old standby. I'm going to take out a little elixir from a bottle. I'm going to mix a little something in there. I'm going to kind of put like an old popsicle stick in there, kind of mix it into like a little paste, and then he's going to go over to Tiburon. He's going to go, okay, this one's going to go under your tongue. And he's going to say, open up. And he puts it in and then closes his mouth, and it's going to be haste. This'll wake you up.
God. Gets worse every time.
Oliver will just yell out, does anyone have any like water you can spray in my eyes or something? It is very painful.
Nope, sorry, bud.
Busy feeding this to Tiburon. All right, Tiburon, you're hasted. That'll kick in next turn. And Randall, anything else?
I will run over to Oliver to help him out for his eyes. I don't have anything specific for that, but I am an alchemist is my artificer thing. So maybe I'll use my alchemy kit to try and search for a base to go with that acid.
Do you have any old milk?
Oh, I got plenty of old milk.
I mean, that would actually...
Here, put this on your eyes. Oh, that didn't work. Use these old eggs. Oh, that didn't work. Use this spoiled buttermilk.
Stop making pancakes on my
Cottage
face.
cheese. We'll
All
find
right.
something.
Roll a d20 to come across something and effectively deploy it to help with the blindness situation.
Oh, it's so rank. It's so thick.
Oh, 20, baby.
Oh, sure. It works. It's gross.
Maybe
You don't know if this is better. You don't know what the infection situation is
feels
going to
great.
happen out of this.
I
but
don't know what he's pouring on me. It feels great. Oh, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, it's a topical balm. I love it.
Whatever he hits you with would probably be equally bad to have in your eyes, but it seems to more or less nullify the acid. So as far as you know, you're a little blurry, but like it seems to have helped. It helped with the pain a lot.
You just straight up threw Drano in your eyes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Branch is also not able to see. Hello.
All right, Randall, that's your turn. Branch, you're still blinded, but it is your turn.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So set the scene for me because I lost it a little bit in all the chaos. What did Branch know was near him before he went blinded? Got blinded. Was blind.
He saw the kind of like mimic creature erupt where Oliver was at. That's probably about... Well, no. So you had time to like observe there are also these like little scaraby things before getting blinded. So...
Were any of them like...
You probably saw Tiburon take out the first one, so you have a sense of the scarabs to your left and the mimic up above you. You don't really know the state of things beyond that.
Were any of my friends in between me and the scarab on my left before I went blind?
Yeah, Sarsa, and you would have seen her thunderous rebuke handle them and knock them back a little bit. So you have a rough sense of where those are.
I think Branch is very stupidly going to try to get to the very large mimic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I figure a kaiju fight would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm blind, so we'll see how that goes. So I'm gonna try to go there and then attack.
You don't necessarily know that it's stunned, but your blind disadvantage would be nullified probably by its stunned disadvantage. So you can go up there and get just roll a regular attack on it.
I will attempt to bite it. That's a 25 to hit.
Hit.
18 piercing damage. And theoretically it's grappled.
Okay.
Although, as with the giant frog, I'm not sure how that works in this scenario.
You just keep your mouth on it. You keep chomped on. You have a
Cool.
sense of where it's at. You
That's
can
good,
tell through
'cause
biting it that it's not responding right now. So maybe Oliver stunned it.
And then I'll swat at it with my tail.
Okay, roll that.
So you have advantage,
Yeah,
even though you have
advantage on that.
disadvantage. But so basically, it just nullifies.
So it's still null. Okay. It's a 13 to hit.
Miss.
Tail just swings right over it.
All right, Branch is chomped on. Sarsa, it's your turn.
Pasa.
Pasa.
So we still have the mimic and the two guys, or how far away are they from me?
Your thunderous rebuke just kind of like threw the swarm off you, just like 5 feet. So it's still right in front of you in kind of like swarm form.
Okay.
I would say you're engaged with it.
We're gonna do. I mean, I'm
Or
so
fun.
original. We'll do my spirit guardians. I'm gonna do those as a level. We'll throw that up as a level 4 spell.
Okay. Not gonna make it. What's their damage?
That'll be 14 radiant damage.
But I would say that pretty much takes them out. So the spirit guardians kind of like are a helpful response to a swarm that's like hard to hit with a sword because you're like swinging through air. But the spirit guardians do a really good job, kind of like dividing and conquering, and all the little like manta rays go after all the little coins and take them out pretty well. So they're done.
We love that AOE. And then for my movement, I'd like to get my spirit guardians in range of the mimic.
Okay. It probably automatically fails that, so it'll take that spirit guardian damage.
Here, do you want me
As
to roll
well.
again for it?
Sure.
17 damage radiant.
All right. Way to go.
Woohoo! And that's my turn.
That'll take us back to Tiburon.
What's left aside from the mimic?
As far as you know, just the mimic. There could be more scarab hordes around, or swarm. They're horde scarabs. Swarm of horde scarabs is what they are.
Of horde scarabs.
There could be more of those, but you don't see any immediately, so it's mainly the stunned mimic.
Okay. Hey, is it close enough that I can get to it, or should I try going long?
Yeah, you can get to it.
Okay. Let's run up and chop up some wood.
Okay, roll those stacks with advantage.
First one's 17. Second one is 28. And last one is 18.
All those hit.
All hit. 17 damage, 15 damage, and 12 damage.
Okay, this thing's looking pretty cut up. Actually, like throughout you're attacking it, it like loses its like shape shifting like ability. So as you're cutting it apart, you see it sort of like its skin sort of like ripples and changes and like goes from the replication of like golden coins and gems and stuff. By the time you're done chopping at it, it's transformed into just like regular mimic flesh, more tentacles and teeth, and kind of like a big mouth in the middle. It's not dead, but it's pretty hacked up. Which brings us to the mimic's turn, which I believe it is stunned through, right? And then it would recover at the end of that turn?
Well,
Yes.
before the mimic's turn,
Okay.
I was hasted.
All right. Oh,
Yeah, so-
shoot. You were hasted. It's totally not going to make it to its
Yes.
turn. All right. Go for
So
it.
let's finish this.
Bye-bye.
So here we go. 3 more. Oop. Okay. That one is 22. That one is 15. Well,
Mm-hmm.
and that one is 27.
Those are all going to hit.
Okay, let's do it. 14, 17, and 13.
Those all hit. You cut it apart, slice and dice, and soon after that, like it's like all like stuck in like stunned position, like arms up and around, which have like transitioned back into just like regular horde flesh. But like you cut it all apart, and then kind of like a couple of seconds later, it like stays in position. Maybe like a tentacle falls off and like falls off stiffly. But then like it, on what would have been its turn, loses its like rigidity and just like collapses into like almost a puddle. And it actually completely like collapses down into the pile of gold and treasure and stuff, because some of it was actually gold and treasure, but it like drops down to like this like mound of treasure, like starts to invert almost like an anthill in the middle. Like it kind of like goes down into a hole. Oliver and Tiburon make a dexterity save.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I think Branch is up there too. I don't know if you need to.
Sure, make a dexterity save, Lizard Branch. Blind Lizard Branch. Probably a
17.
disadvantage. All right, that'll do
7.
it. Okay.
I didn't want to roll. I just was keeping you honest.
Yeah.
20. 30, 20.
Okay, so what's happening is this thing is the mimic, as it like kind of like shrivels up and dies, falling through a hole at the bottom of it. So it drops through, and then like treasure starts to kind of like rain down this hole. And Oliver and Tiburon, you're able to climb out of this pile as it's collapsing and kind of like get clear of falling through the hole. Giant Lizard does not, is clumsy and blind, and was like latched onto this thing that just like collapsed and fell down the hole. So you essentially like fall down into it, but you're too big to get through that hole. So you just sort of land on it and actually like function as like a stopper, where like essentially like about half of all the coins and things have fallen down this hole, but you've blocked the rest of them from falling down to what's under you.
Cool.
End of initiative.
Mm.
How long does haste last for? It's like a minute, right?
Let's see. Up to 1 minute.
Okay. All right. Well, there you are. This chamber seems quiet. Lizard Branch is blocking this treasure drain hole. Within a relatively short amount of time, Tiburon's going to lose haste and become one level of exhausted, I think. And Sarsa's spirit guardians are going to go off. What do you want to do? Within the next few seconds, Branch, you're able to sort of like blink free of your blindness.
Oh, good.
So you recover and get a sense of like, what the heck?
I was all ready to be a bat or something next. I'm like, what am I going to do?
No, you're good.
Branch fell down in the hole.
I'm on top of the hole.
He fell down, into the hole, but he's too big to get through it. So he's down there, and also kind of like you're sort of Scrooge McDucking it, because like the remaining coins kind of like would have been falling towards you. So you're like mostly submerged in treasure, but like you're not completely submerged.
Well, it seems that where we need to go is in the hole where all the coins fell down in. Branch, perhaps you can become something small. I don't think you're going to fit inside the entryway that we need to proceed through.
Yes, Branch can be smaller, but why do you think we should go in the hole? The dead thing, I think, fell in the hole. That seems like a bad place for us to go.
I was looking at the holocron before this, and there's no other place to go. It seems that the cavern that we need to go inside is below us.
Okay. Branch will turn into himself, since I have to do that in order to become a thing, I think. But I'll go ahead and become just a regular old bat using my wild shape amulet as well, just so I can fly and not fall into a hole.
Okay.
And also be able to see if I get blinded again.
Branch turns into Branch, who's immediately going to fall in the hole that he was blocking in an avalanche of coins. As you sort of like start to drop and scramble through that, you will sort of like mid-fall be able to turn into a bat. So you probably get like pulled down into the underneath chamber in the midst of this like coin waterfall.
That's my expectation, yeah.
Yeah, roll dexterity as a bat.
As a bat. Okay.
We can just assume bats have, let's say, +3 dexterity.
It's actually +2.
Oh.
But I rolled a nat 20. So
Oh. All right, so you're able to like flip and flop and fly and like transition into a bat and get free of the coin waterfall that is happening as it pours into this chamber. So you're now down at the very top, flying around at the very top of this giant chamber below you. The coins eventually kind of like empty out. You can hang out there or you can fly back up to where everybody is above.
My blind sight goes out 60 feet as a bat.
Oh,
What
yeah, you're
do
blind.
I sense?
You feel the ceiling above you, which is more or less kind of like dome-shaped. Within that range, nothing below you. This seems like a very large.
Well, then I'm really glad I
chamber.
turned into something that could fly.
But you can also hear the coins hitting probably more coins below you. You can hear the sound of the waterfall. So it's not like it's bottomless or anything, but it's
Does it
the
sound...
floor is farther than... Well, it would be... You're close to the ceiling. You said 60-foot radius?
Yeah, it says blind sight 60 feet. So 60-foot
Yeah.
radius.
Okay. So yeah, wherever the ground is, it's at least a little bit more than 60 feet. You would guess not too much more because of the sound of the coins.
Okay, cool. I will flat my way back up and I'm going to perch on Oliver's head.
Okay.
And then I'll tell everyone. Actually, no. You know what I'll do? I'm going to hang upside down from one of Randall's horns on his helmet.
Nice.
That makes way more sense. So I'll do that, and Branch will say,
There is a really big fall down on the other side of that hole. I do not know what is there.
Clisselbub is like, I actually kind of like this. I feel useful.
Yeah.
Well, no time like the present, and Oliver will go over and jump down in the hole.
Oh,
No. Okay.
slow fall.
Oliver can slow fall his way down. The rest of you kind of like gaze
Should
out
we all
as he
do that?
like disappears down.
It's like,
The rest of you kind of like watch him descend, and you can see, in fact, like this is a very large chamber. It has a much, much larger hoard of treasure, kind of like sticking out of the, not quite the middle of it, a little bit off to the side. You're not like directly above. You're not directly above where there's essentially like an island of treasure, because below that, where there's treasure sticking up, this chamber is filled with the same kind of like deep, thick mist that you've seen before when Gravely disappeared and when you fought John Fletcher. Essentially, it looks like an island of treasure sticking up, not directly below you, but a little bit farther back in the chamber. And the waterfall of treasure from this room that you are jumping out of has made just like a little bit of a tiny island where you see Oliver land. And I think we will call it there.
come on down, it's fine.